And now we're going to move to a little slightly different beat. We've got Minyu, and she is from World Dignity Forum. And she has a very interesting story from coming from a high-flying executive to having a spiritual awakening. And now she is the proud founder and visionary of the Poem Foundation, which we're going to be hearing a little bit about now. And Sally is going to be moderating this one once more. Lady of Endurance. Over to you, Sally.
So for those of you who have been here the whole conference, we've talked a lot about root cause. What is the root cause of why we are where we are with this crisis? And we've had lots of different answers, that we don't have the right narrative, that there's polarized bipartisanship in Congress and in the world with popularism, that there's so much fragmentation and so much, what do I want to say, stimuli in society that people can't focus anymore on what is really important. And in getting to know Minyu over the last couple years, I've really been thinking about root cause and assumptions. And we talked about assumptions, the assumptions that we've been operating under as a global society, which include fear and separation and competition and separateness, which have created what? If you hold those beliefs, you're going to get what you get, and that's what we have. That's what you can't help but manifest that. So we dove down a little deeper, and underneath all of that, even you go to changing those assumptions to love and collaboration, etc. But you dig a little deeper, and what is missing? What do you think is missing? It's dignity. It's dignity with ourselves. It's dignity to the earth. It's dignity to each other. It's dignity between man and woman. It's really, we're in a place now where repairing dignity, I think, is up on the top of the list. And so Minyu has written about this. She has been thinking about this and is going to be, she is the founder and the inspiration behind the World Dignity Forum that is taking place in New Delhi, India, next February, the 8th to the 10th. And I want her to take this forward, because nothing like this forum has ever happened in the world before. Go ahead, Minyu.
Thank you, Sally. For those of you who've sort of seen me here before, you've heard me talk about the Poem Foundation in the past, about we are all about full spectrum well-being, thriving physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, and environmentally. And as I embarked on the journey of really bringing that into fruition, through results, through experiences, through wisdom, what I saw was that, people were experiencing a difference. It would happen, but it was not sustainable. And I also saw a real rise of interfaith dialogues about peace, the climate action, collaborative groups. A lot of that was starting to happen, and there were solutions being discussed. I could see that, but I could also see it just wasn't sustainable. So my question, and I work very much with my intuitive guidance, and my question was, okay, so what is at the foundation? Something requires to be done to shift the foundation for all of this effort that is starting to now occur collaboratively. It isn't little fringe groups here and there that are in action. It's happening everywhere, and people are discussing amongst them. What I was given was dignity is at the foundation of it. If dignity is compromised in any way, then whatever solution we come up with is not sustainable. We heard about the real crisis from just a few minutes ago. It wasn't about the earth, it was about the relationships. And we've been hearing the reference to dignity overall throughout this conference. So when I got this vision of really bringing together world leaders on dignity, and it is about lifting dignity from a position of being fringe as something that is done by a few NGOs, really lifting it to the same level as economy. In our drive to transform the economic state of the world, dignity got overlooked. So we now have a situation where a tree only has value once it is chopped. In the forest, it doesn't have any value. So forests get chopped. And lo and behold, here we are talking about the climate crisis. And that applies to humans and everywhere. So the intention of the World Dignity Forum is, it is a platform. Yes, there is an event that we are doing, which actually really it's a stake in the ground, and it brings together, dignitaries, solutionaries who have been in action from business, from arts and entertainment, from interfaith groups, indigenous elders, scientists, philosophers, politicians. And we are choosing people. Not everybody it's not for everybody. We are literally choosing who is invited. And even the ones that I'm inviting to this, I'm actually, a number of them have got millions of followers, and they're known for something. But I'm really literally looking at where is it that they have implemented a solution that delivers this whole transformation of dignity, and it's a full spectrum solution. So an example would be like, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who has created the Art of Living Foundation. He's got some 600 million followers around the world. And everybody knows him for that. Everybody knows him for happiness. And yet when I met him, I follow my intuitive guidance. I don't go and meet even the regular people that people suggest until I know that there is something there. So when I went to meet him, I was there with him just one-to-one, and I said to him, I feel what you're doing, your true gift is conflict resolution. Tell me what you've done in that area. And it turns out that, you remember the drug wars that used to happen in Colombia and stuff? It was Sri Sri Ravi Shankar that went in. And he was instrumental in actually bringing an end to that. He brought together the drug lords with the politicians, and everybody had to hand their guns at the door. So he then said to me, there was a video that was taken as I was doing this. So it was interesting to watch that video and see it in action and find that, okay, this is what I want him to talk about. So it's been quite a journey to really make this real and to be uncompromising about it, honoring the dignity of the World Dignity Forum and why it has come about. I think it's useful. People often ask, well, what do you mean by dignity? It's probably a good idea to just look at that. This is our definition. I'm not going to read the slide, but this is really what we are talking about. And I thought Amory Lovin's comment, again, even though he's not referring to dignity, very much alludes to what the underlying issue is.
Exactly. Well, I think, respect, kindness, actually are reflections of dignity.
Yeah.
There's so many things that, or characteristics or actions that we take that I don't think that we really grasp that they're reflections of that bedrock of our being, which is dignity.
Yes, yes. So one of the things that we've been working on together on this, and there's an amazing team of people that has come together behind this. We've been looking at, well, what is the declaration that the World Dignity Forum is bringing forth? And this is what we've come up with. It is to honor, build, and preserve dignity in self, all beings, communities, and our environment with kindness, respect, and cooperation for a peaceful, sustainable, and abundant world.
Yes. So go ahead.
Yeah. And you know, you can have a vision as vast and as big as that. It's important to begin, you know, make a start. And what I saw when I started really looking at how do you reclaim dignity? You know, can it even be reclaimed? You know, it's inherent in all of us. I really felt that dignity begins with me. So yes, we have the declaration. There is a pledge that deals with self, with all beings, with you know, our communities and the environment. But we can each make a start straight away right now by taking an action. So, you know, we are putting together a dignity pledge and inviting people to take a dignity pledge, to start right now, to do one act of kindness a day, to honor, build, and preserve dignity in yourself. Because dignity begins with me.
Now you're taking this another step in that you are going to be highlighting projects. I mean, there's a real tangibility to this form. Would you go forward on that, please?
Yes. So like I said, we are lifting the whole status of dignity to the level of the World Economic Forum. So we are, you know, the overarching themes are ethics, economics, and environment, something that has been discussed a lot in all of our day and in other parts of the world. So it's dignity as the underlying foundation across all of that. So we've taken, you know, our team has really looked at what are the fires that require to be cooled, and these are some of the elements that we've come up with, and the whole forum is going to go through the solutions, and the solutionaires are the ones that are going to present it. I'll give you an example of this whole solution around water
Okay,
that I was looking for. And there are many amazing things being done in the world. I mean, this is the other thing that I got. As I started looking out for solutionaires, I really got to see that there is some great work that is being done. And those people who are doing the work are busy doing the work. It's not necessarily being, you know, highlighted or amplified. So, you know, we've taken on that we convene these people and we convert the templated solutions into education programs and amplify them. The water solution was interesting, and it was actually, I came across one of the best solutions in India itself. And it's in a state called Rajasthan. And what this person has done, he was a doctor. He came back after his medical degree to work in his village because he felt that the village was in abject poverty. People's health was really collapsing quite severely, and he was going to offer his services. The chief of the village basically said, what I want you to do is to bring water to us. They worked together using Vedic practices. The way they captured water actually has created a free-flowing river in Rajasthan, which is a desert. And as a result of that, these 80 villages that were in abject poverty are now, every single day, 230 truckloads of fruits and vegetables go to Delhi and Jaipur from these villages.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
And it was literally a full spectrum solution. The health of the people improved, relationships improved, community spirit got recreated. There was a tiger reserve close by which had no tigers in it.
Right.
You know, it now has 14 tigers. And this has happened over the last 9 years. It wasn't overnight, it took a while, but literally it's just an amazing to see what they've done. What they've done there can be implemented anywhere in the world. So having something like that really highlighted is very exciting.
Well, there's another piece to dignity too, which a lot of us, particularly in the United States, don't even think about. I just recently met the man who has figured out a way in India, and he's actually done it, to give 400 million people IDs in India. And that is, when you don't have an ID and you can't get credit and you can't borrow money, and there are so many things that you cannot do, an ID like that in a society like that is dignity.
Yeah.
It's basic dignity. And he related, we don't have time, many stories of how people's lives changed and how they're actually their economies changed because
Yeah.
they had a card that had their picture and an ID, something that simple.
Yeah. I mean, from here, I'm going to Spain, speaking at a localized offshoot of the World Economic Forum called Horaces. And my topic is economy and the social imperative. And I'm bringing dignity in to an audience which is just full of very, very high profile captains of industry. So it'll be interesting to see what their response is.
What their response is, yes.
So if you would like to join us, do email us and have a look at the website. Thank you.
Yes, so thank you very much. This is really breaking new ground, doing this on a global level and bringing focus to, I think, a piece of our solution, the foundation of our solution that really hasn't been addressed. So thank you, Manu. Thank you very much.